today we're going to talk about lesson 4. I hope you're ready. Today we're dividing a fraction by a fraction. Our I can statements today are I can use models to divide fractions by fractions with different denominators. Different. Okay, second one, I can make connections using make connections between visual models and multiplication of fractions. Hints and tips. Those are you ready for this? Those are, number 1, you can create equivalent fractions. To have a common denominator. If you have common denominators, then you can just divide the numerators, just like we did in lesson 3. So today we're actually taking different denominators, changing them to have common denominators, so then we can divide. The most important thing to understand about this concept is when you create equivalent fractions, you must multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Hint, whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom, or vice versa. Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So if we take a fraction of 2/3, actually I'm not going to use that one. Let's do 1/4, and you multiply it by the same number and the same number for the numerator and same number for the denominator, you are creating an equivalent fraction. So we could multiply that by any number as long as this number is the same as that number. So let's take, you could do whatever number you want. Let's just do 2 because that's easy for now. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So this fraction is equivalent to 1/4. All right, how this concept relates to other concepts we've studied. Are you ready for this? It's easy. Equivalent ratios. Okay, equivalent ratios. All right, so if we jump down to the opening exercise, I hope that you, in the opening exercise, I hope that you I think you'll be able to get this pretty easy though, because these are just like ratios. So what it says, write at least 3 equivalent ratios. Equivalent ratios for each fraction below. Be sure to show how the fractions are related. So if we take the original fraction of 2/3 and multiply it by the same, and multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator by the same number, that is getting an equivalent ratio. So let's do 2 to start with. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. All right, that's actually called scaling up. When you multiply a fraction or a ratio by an equivalent form of 1, 2/2 is the same as 1, then you are scaling up. So let's scale up 2/2 again, or 2/3. 2/3 times Let's do 3 this time. Scaling up by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? I'm going to make sure I circle my new equivalent ratios. All right, and let's do one more. So we're going to take 2/3, and let's think, could we scale this down any? Could it, scaling down and reducing are the same thing, so can this be reduced? No, it can't. Good job. So we're gonna what we're gonna do is we're gonna scale it up. So we're gonna multiply it, both parts of the fraction, by the same number. So let's do 10 this time. So 2 times 10 is 20. 3 times 10 is 30. Okay, so these are all equivalent to 2/3. All right, let's look at our next one here. Now we have 10 over 12. Now, can this be scaled down or reduced? Sure, look, they're both even. 0, 10's even, 12's even. So let's take this and let's scale it down. Let's reduce it. And of course, we're going to reduce this by 2 since both of them are even. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we have 5/6. Now let's start again. Let's take our original fraction, 10 over 12, and let's just scale it up. Let's scale it up by 2. All right, so 10 times 2 is 20, and 12 times 2 is 24. All right, now let's do that one more time. So 10 over 12, and we're going to scale it up. So let's multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. And let's do 10 again. So 10 times 10 is 100. 12 times 10, 12 times 1 is 12, and add a 0 is 120. Okay, so now we have, for letter B, we have all of these equivalent ratios for 10/12. All right, I hope that you're staying with me. So let's, if you need to pause the video to write all that down, you can. If not, let's move on to the back. All right, so let's look at example 1. We need a little pick-me-up, I think, though.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed.
Okay, so Molly, I decided to add music today just to jazz up your notes. Example 1, Molly purchased 11/8 cups of strawberries. So that means that this would be more than one cup. If she eats 2/8 cups per serving, how many servings does Molly have? So we are trying to figure out how many 2/8 servings she has in 11/8 cups. So what we're going to do here is we are going to create a model to prove our answer, of course. So the problem that we are solving is we are taking what we have. What we have is the 11/8, and we're dividing it by 2/8 to figure out how many servings she has. So let me write that down. So 11/8 divided by 2/8. Okay, so let's take our model. And I know most of you say this is cheating, but it's not. So let's create our model. Whoa, that's not what we wanted to do. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to make a tape diagram. All right, just like we did on Friday, we are saying each box, I think a lot of you got confused by this, so let's add this key to it. Each box is equal to 1/8. So I'm going to create boxes here, and every box is going to be 1/8. So how many boxes will I need? Well, if you said 11, you are correct. So let's create 11. All right, so we have 11 boxes here. Each box represents 1/8. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle groups of 2 because everyone is 1/8, so I need 2 8s in each group. So if I circle 2, 1/8 and 1/8 makes 2 8s. So let's do that. All right, so here's one group. Okay, and I'm putting 1s in the boxes to stand for this is one group. The 1s help me because, of course, our lines get a little cray-cray. So let's put the numbers in the box to help us see. All right, this is our second group. Third group. So we have 3 servings at this current time. 4 servings. 5 servings. Oh no, we got some left over. Okay, so if I'm circling groups of 2, so I only have one group here, so this is considered a half of group because it's only 1 out of the 2 groups I need. So, therefore, I have 5 whole groups and a half of one. So, Molly has 5 and a half servings. Okay, you could also demonstrate this on a number line. Another way that you could also show this is you could also check your answer, which you are going to do and we are going to do right now. Because they said earlier, if we have common denominators, which we do, then all you have to do is divide the numerators. So let's divide the numerators. 11 is our dividend. It goes inside the box. And 2 on the outside. 2 goes into 11. 5 times, which is 10, with 1 left over. So just like they did in 5th grade, you're going to take these and you're going to flip them. So that's 5.5. Remember, you took these and you flipped them. A lot of you made that mistake the other day, so make sure that you are flipping it. Okay? Your remainder, 1 is your numerator, and what you divided by is your denominator, your divisor. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to finish example 2 and example 3 in a different video. This video will be in Canvas, and the video with example 2 and 3 will be posted right underneath this video. So go back to your page and look at it.